Welcome everybody to Can't Draw Horses Club. I'm Corey, and today we have Alex.
Hello.
We're gonna be doing we're gonna be hitting our microphones with our fingies.
Awesome.
That's all we're doing today. We're doing value studies, gesturing
So
with my
Corey,
hands.
what are value studies?
Nobody knows.
Oh, I mean, if you want me to explain it.
Alex has prepared this lovely slideshow.
Well, no. Do you have any other housekeeping to do? Because I actually have a thing.
Oh, you actually have a thing? No, this is brought to you by Patreon, patreon.com/loadingreadyrun, and support here on Twitch. Since we're live currently as I'm speaking, you can subscribe to the channel, throw us bits, or later, if you're watching on YouTube, things. Okay, Alex, yeah. Do you
Okay,
have stuff? Do you want a specific scene?
No, it's not stuff.
Oh,
I have a gift for you.
a what?
A gift if you want it, because I wouldn't impose on you, but I did literally get you something.
You got... Wait, I can... Oh! Oh!
If it will focus.
Yes. I recognize that shape.
Yeah.
That shape is my greatest foe. Now in
True,
miniature.
So
I
yeah,
can use this to
is,
steal my documents.
Exactly. You can just like
Boop.
Yeah, I think this is originally from like a newspaper or something. But
Okay.
I got it in amongst a bunch of other tools, and I was just like, I know who would like that.
Yes.
So there you go.
Yeah, freaky horse friend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So yeah, value
what are
studies.
values?
What are
Well,
values? It is just the lightness basically of
yeah, it's like it's the range between black and white.
yeah,
Um,
a grand range. It is a spectrum. It is you cannot limit it, but you can. There's every lightness is available, including the
and
darkness.
interestingly, it also applies to colors, which is something to be aware of. Because like values actually apply to colors, and it's something that I need to get better about myself, which is
do you want to show the folks an example?
I'm just looking for a piece of artwork that I can show on this stream. Yeah, okay, that'll work. So I'm just gonna show.
All right, we're showing this.
This is a commission, so this would be it in color. But what I'm gonna do is,
Oh,
okay. So this lets us look at the values. So just by flipping it black and white, you can sort of see how this whole thing sort of works. And I tried my best to actually, this is not even the highest resolution version of this. There we go. Let's do that. No, wait.
begone, pixels. We need more dots.
Right. So yeah, this is something you want to check when you're doing coloring, and like I think we're going to start with brass tacks, just doing like basic values.
Mm-hmm.
But how the scene sort of pops and what's emphasized depends on the sort of like light and dark areas. So, for example, like you have a lighter area surrounding a darker silhouette here, and vice versa, like a lighter silhouette surrounding a darker area. Actually, I could really exaggerate this if I go like, come on, you can do it.
Ooh.
That's exaggerating it, but you sort of get the idea. Anyway.
Are you mucking with your curves, or are you like posterizing?
This is oh, does it? Oh, it doesn't show that window. That's weird.
Yeah, because you're only showing the window, not the screen. So any other pop-up windows don't get captured.
Actually, let me just change that so you can see what I'm doing.
I'll flip back to the booth just in case it reveals your naughty desktop with all your secrets.
Actually, my naughty desktop is just too many icons.
Same.
Way too many.
Some of them are called like Fortnite, and I don't want people to see that.
Absolutely disgusting. Let me see if I actually have any monochrome stuff.
I mean, I could talk a little bit too.
Yeah, no, go. Yeah, you chat, and I'll look for some things.
So at like the basic level, you have your two extremes, light and dark. If you were making like games for the Game Boy, the original Game Boy, you're working with like a 1-bit just toggle for each of those, and like that's the level of narrowness you can get down. But as you get the values closer to each other, you get more smooth gradients or higher contrast areas to look at. Something to think about for every single thing you do.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you're doing like sculpture, because you want to know
the perfect example.
How light touches. You got your example up?
Yeah. You might recognize this.
Oh.
Long time ago. I don't remember when I did this, but this was a desktop that I did for Corey.
Yeah, I commissioned this. Or, well, I did a trade. We swapped.
It's lost memory. I actually initially did this one, and it wasn't really what you're after, so I did this one instead. But they both kind of have elements of sort of like light and dark.
Yeah, I really like utility poles. A lot of my desktop wallpapers are utility poles, but I asked for that one because you had done a desktop with kind of like more of a wood grain with like a transformer on it. It was an older like. It was for your Patreon.
I also found I have in my reference folder, which I very carefully sift through on my other screen. Some cool stuff. Here's a cool guide that I pulled out because I think it is a great example of how values can be used in a practical sense. So I have this up on screen now. Cool, huh? So like you have your like a face, for example.
I have a face.
Then, yeah. Wow, big if true. And then depending on how you light it, which is to say how you control the values, it will achieve something wholly different. And like you see the enormity of the range you can have here. Like you can go sort of like, neutral or like sinister, like hard cast, this kind of stuff. I definitely gotta work on this kind of thing. I might try doing some of these. You can give them mustache. Well, that's not necessarily a value, but oops.
Yeah, you can give them a mustache, and that would add some value.
I mean,
a mustache for every face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So today I got started trying to draw horses.
Yeah, but I sent you a reference.
Yeah, that's actually a great example of bad values. I think you should show the chat.
All right, no.
Was that a Vanta black horse or just a really matte
it's
black
Muso
horse?
black. Where did I put that picture? Oh my god. I can just download it again from Slack. There it is. Folder.
Use as few
drag and drop.
Rays as possible today.
There.
Okay, so this is like, actually it's not necessarily bad, it's just like
it's perfect.
Yeah, if this was a silhouette, it's actually very good, but you can see how that you can basically not make out any of the details at all.
Uh-huh.
Because it's all almost the same value.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's pretty gnarly. Oops. Oh, actually, I'll do this way.
Okay, so there's discussion in chat about how it is wrong with the Game Boy because there are 4 colors, and you have the option of like the yellow or green back. But fine, if you're on your Texas Instruments calculator, in math class.
That does actually remind me of something that I was going to mention. That like when you're drawing or like rendering something, there's a lot of ways you can generate value. Like obviously you can just like pick a shade from like black to white, or you can use stuff like hatching or
dithering.
Halftone. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, and Game Boy, for example, does that a lot.
Because of the limitations.
Sort of simulates gray.
Yeah.
Actually, I think I might have, hang on a sec. Mac OS 7 grays. If I can find that. Because there's a bunch of different oh, look at that. It's beautiful.
Oh, whoa! Oh my god. We've gone back in time.
Yeah, so
okay,
it's like not
Horse Club is now a time travel show.
Mother of God.
Oh, can you bring up the cow? Do you have the dog cow?
What?
Oh, I guess maybe
no, this
don't.
is just a random screenshot of
yeah, you can't actually do anything with it. But I want to see the dog cow. Someone find
don't know
find
what the
me.
dog cow actually is. I should know what it is.
I don't know if you should know anything.
Wait here, this might be really good. Oh, come on.
Now I want to play Hypnospace Outlaw again.
Here we go. Look at, oh man, I'm so nostalgic for these like old school dithering style halftones. But yeah,
you can just like you smell it.
I mean, you're not wrong. This is using one gray, and you get like kind of a full range of values. I mean, they obviously look better at a distance, but
like all pixels.
Yes, true. You're kind of achieving the same thing. And in manga, the use of halftones is much the same thing. It's like manga halftones.
Yeah, because you get like a separate sheet and you just basically stick it on and cut out the bits that aren't supposed to be.
It's all digital nowadays, but
you can still buy beta.
Yeah, like back in the day, what artists would do is they would have this stuff. It was printed on adhesive
transparency,
like acetate or like transparency.
Yeah.
And you would razor out the areas you wanted and like stick them down, and then to get like this little sort of fade pattern, you would scratch it off with a razor blade.
Yeah, on top of your art. It's so sketchy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's where you get like shoujo bubbles and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But anywho, yeah, that's all being simulated in computers now. But it's weird because of the way computers work. Halftone does not look as good because you get so much moire pattern.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember the phenomenon that causes that, but it's like you get weird like patterning in it, and it doesn't display the way you would expect it.
It has to do with pixels and sub-pixel blending. So like when your lines get really close to each other and you zoom, it tries to shrink it down and kind of average in a certain amount of space what the color should be, but it's not trying to necessarily preserve that horizontal line. So it'll be like oh, this next line up is actually the one that makes a pixel here. So it kind of they end up like smushed and blending. If that makes sense.
Not really, but I mean,
It's like
computers are
scaling
magic to me anyway.
is the issue. Because there's not uh
People way smarter than me know how this stuff works, and I just leave that in their domain.
well, it's like if you have a square, right?
Huh?
And then you move it slightly off, which pixel
Ah, of course.
do you light, basically?
It has to make like a judgment call.
Yeah.
So, like, I was trying to draw a horse from memory, and I couldn't remember what features horses come with stock.
Yeah.
So I just like added the Vietnam era rocket pod,
Mm-hmm.
some galoshes. Actually, these look more like Uggs or something.
There's another issue called ringing that you get in JPEGs a lot, where when you scale it, it kind of leaves a ghost image of the original shape sort of behind.
Mm-hmm.
So you get like kind of waves coming out of your image instead of, or like the subject, not instead of like it making true black or something like that like it's supposed to. You're like, why the hell, if I scale this down, do I get like little halos?
There's so much weird stuff like that. This is not really related to value, but I mean, yeah, not really. But we were watching Videodrome last night.
Okay.
In the background, I noticed what are they called? Wait, it wasn't Videodrome. It was 2 days ago when I was watching Thin Blue Line with Rowan Atkinson. He had in the background a microfiche reader, which is an early form of like, I guess, data miniaturization.
Yep.
Where you would just take images and reproduce them real small on film.
Mm-hmm.
And then you would be able to read them back by using a magnifier. And they had these machines that would like track the coordinates on a microfiche, which would be like, it was like about this big. And they would do stuff like put an entire newspaper on it, where it would just be like page. And they were like the size of a thumbnail.
They still exist.
Yeah, they still exist. You find them in older libraries a lot. And for like really, really, really old shit, I actually kind of love them because they're very robust and like low tech, and I don't think they're subject to much degradation.
They're pretty decent
that probably
for
depends,
archive,
yeah.
for at least non-colored stuff.
Yeah, colored, that's tricky. I actually liked it so much that I added a like updated version in my sci-fi setting.
I thought you were going to talk about like some weird Fresnel lens effects that was happening.
No, like funny. This is neither here nor there, but Videodrome was totally shot in Toronto.
Uh-huh.
And, like you can really tell.
I've never been to Toronto, so I can't.
The CN Tower's there.
That could be the one in Calgary.
We'll have the Calgary barbecue fork.
Ooh. So I didn't prep any like specific reference or anything to do a study on, so I want to ask chat what am I drawing?
Yeah, I'm like also pretty suggestible. I don't like I saw the face thing and I kind of dig that.
So you can do your face thing?
Yeah, maybe. So I can maybe I can like draw a face. Or actually, I bet you I could find a piece of my existing line art And
Yeah.
then I could do value studies on that. That's a great idea.
That's a great idea.
Okay, let me just find something.
Okay, I'm seeing pumpkin. That's the only thing I'm seeing in chat
What pumpkin?
as a thing for me to draw. Pumpkin.
Oh, oops! I tried opening a Photoshop document through my web browser, and it was like, huh?
PSD, never met her. I don't know what to do with XML. Two pumpkin. All right, I've changed my mind. I'm gonna eat this sandwich that Ian just brought me.
That's really funny. All right. It's silly. Okay, I'm gonna take this. Oop, that is not the layer that I expected. Living in eternal fear. Okay. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Hello, Raiders. How are y'all doing today? Okay, so that should work. There we go. Okay, so yeah, this is like a completed rendered version of one of my characters. So what I'm gonna do is I'll make a copy just so I have it. I will. Actually, I'm gonna turn this into a smart object just because. I'll open that up. We will select everything that is black. And whoops. I said everything that's black. I need to use the correct thing. Invert. Bonk.
Oh
Hey,
damn!
look, it's line art.
You magicked that.
So now I can just draw underneath. And I'm gonna open up that.
There. There's a horse for you raiders. You can look at this horse. This horse is amazing.
Give it a lick.
I would not.
I don't.
The paint said not to apply to your skin.
I think I would need to be paid pretty substantially to consider licking a horse. It would also matter a lot where. Just, just in general.
I think I would lick 80% of a horse. There's definitely areas I don't wanna. Kind of mostly in the back end and some of the mouth parts. Maybe I would brush the horse first so it's not like dusty from rolling around in the fields of its own manure.
That's pretty grody.
Pretty grody. Yeah. But if it was like a therapy horse that was just like clopping around the hospital with its little shoes.
Careful with that term clopping.
I shan't be careful. What could you be referring to, Alex?
That's nothing. There's nothing that could be referring to. It's all nonsense.
So we're doing value studies today. I'll move you down. There we go.
You know what? I'm gonna cheat just slightly.
Oh,
just a cheeky little babby cheat. Symmetry.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Look at that. What a clever time-saving feature.
trying to. Whoopsie. I'm trying to bear in mind what all these areas mean.
Like the
'Cause, like,
undernose.
yeah, well, like enter the undernose. So like this one, I can tell that the light is coming up from underneath, and so you
Yeah.
see shadows on top of the cheekbones, on top of the nose, sort of where the head slopes away. Like these are all things that I'm sort of like aware of, but I definitely need to spend more time thinking about consciously.
Well, now's the perfect time.
Yeah, exactly. Do homework.
All right. Later, Brain Shake. Thanks for joining.
So if we imagine that like Carrie's head, or like hair is like a bowl like that, and the light is coming up at it, it's going to hit the bottom kind of, and then like as it recedes, it's going to get darker there. So that's sort of what I'm trying to replicate here. Yeah, the annoying part is that like I fully forget all this shit.
Yeah.
I'm actually drawing, and I'm just like, I'm a hack. What am I doing?
You're pretty safe with hair because no one knows how it works. That's how the anime Halo gets away with it. But
the what now? Oh, you mean or like see-through hair?
Or see-through hair, yeah. Because it's like
I
when hair is layered together, it blocks light in a different way. But
yeah.
the anime Halo is like where you have like the single color for your hair, and then you just kind of draw a jagged like line around, kind of a band around the crown.
Interesting. I mean, I do that sometimes, and I don't hate it, but yeah, I think I see what you mean.
Well, it just has to communicate the thing.
Yeah. It's also like people only have so much time in the day. I'm also going to alter this line art because I realize that there's actually an implied light source right in the pupils, which is not apropos. There we go. So now we can do whatever we feel like. I'm perfectly sane. Whoops. So you can also like, this is more stuff that I need to think about. It's like how you make a character like, so with all this stuff off, I have this sort of shape of a character, but like you can advise more of the details about what their silhouette looks like, or the shape of their face using lighting. So like, let's see if I can just fuck around with this and come up with something like different to see what I mean. Bonk. So if I were going to make like a really teeny kind of shallow features. It's like stylizing a character um, is a lot to do with so like this is the reason why anatomy and fundamentals and stuff are important, even if you're drawing in like something like anime style, it's like it's wise to know how those stylized elements got the way they were and what they're trying to do rather than just sort of slavishly copying them. It's like even if you use them, it's smart to know um, how they're functioning because that means that you can adjust how they're working. So, um, like what an eye looks like or something. Let me find.
No one knows. We've never seen them before.
Yeah. Like I'm just gonna try to draw a realistic eye, or at least a like somewhat realistic eye. So like an actual human eye. It's like a lot of bits and pieces on it. Also realizing I'm like drawing this at super low res, but I think it'll still work.
I think pretty often the pupil itself intersects the eyelid.
Yeah, well, I mean,
real
it doesn't in what I'm looking at.
Yeah.
I'm not drawing this off the dome.
Oh, it looks like you are.
Not that good.
Oh. You're drawing it off the screen.
Okay, so that's like,
Haha.
That's a very quick and dirty kind of realistic, actual human eye. Like eyelashes come off like this. So then if we were to draw an anime eye, which there's like a million.
And then Garfield's eye.
That one is like gigantic pupil or gigantic sclera. I don't know if this is like a universal like young artist experience of like fussing really hard about drawing the perfect anime eye. And then like later in your career, right, realizing that it's a waste of time. It's like even if you do end up, drawing eyes this way, it's just like we add like a million highlights. Okay, so you can sort of see like it's the same thing, but certain parts of it are exaggerated, certain parts are diminished to achieve an effect. So it's like there's fewer lines, they're heavier, like the iris, like the whole thing in the middle is called the iris, isn't it?
So just the colored bit.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, the iris is like way bigger. And you see like a lot of these shapes are not as defined, and like if you draw characters like that, adding every little line, they can sometimes look kind of weird. But yeah, these are simplified, and you can sort of see which parts of the realistic looking eye are being used. So then when you're drawing these kind of eyes, you can be like, oh, okay, it's exaggerated in this way for this reason to achieve this kind of effect. So it looks like accurate Angel of Moe anime eyes. Yeah. So let's try a different one. Whoops. It's just like increasingly scarier. So this one's like really harsh lighting from below. Symmetry. this is like crazy in there. So that would hit the top of her lip, right up into the snoot, kind of. Maybe just a little bit there. And of course, like interpreting this through what this character looks like. Just like a slight shadow for the lippy. And then you can also like this is even going to subtly alter what the disposition of the character seems like. And then that sort of gets into all sorts of other stuff. Although like any kind of rendering tool is just like part of your toolkit. It's all kind of in service of getting your drawing to do what you want it to. Yeah. That's like super harsh. Yeah, it's like just barely the kind of tips of the hair. And actually, like at this kind of level of harshness, I might even go further into like shadows. Just like really make it all disappear.
I'm currently trying to figure out if I can make a side reference window in Krita. They've changed some stuff in the last few versions, so I don't know where I'm looking. Just I want it off my canvas.
Yeah. There's so many like useful tools for doing this kind of stuff, and I tend to just not use any of them, opting instead for like the dumbest, most analog sort of simulation. And it works for me. It's like, did I talk about my perspective trick on this stream?
Yes.
And how stupid it is? For those of you who missed it, let me see if I have it in my library actually. This is so dumb.
You draw a triangle.
Not just any triangle.
A fancy triangle.
Yeah, okay. There it is. I need to. Come on. Dang it. I don't know how to use this fucking cloud bullshit. Doggone it. Doggone it, Frank. Come on now. Fuck it. We're doing it from scratch.
I did it. I can move. I can move my pumpkins. Ah! So I had to cut and then paste as reference.
Okay, so how I sometimes do perspective in Photoshop, because I'm a dumbo. I will draw a vector triangle with a very thin colored stroke. Whoops, come on. One of these days I'll get this the first time, and then they'll know. I will then use the select point tool to move bits of the triangle where I want them to. Then I'll make another triangle with, where's the freaking, I always lose track of half the tools that I use. Like partly why I use such a like dough-headed simple version of everything. It's just like sometimes features confuse me. Well, what the fuck did I just do? Oh, there we go. Help computer. I have a second triangle. We will establish an arbitrary line of convergence using just like one of the guides. Those there, that there. Oops. All right, that'll do. This feels so stupid. But look, I can draw in perspective now.
You've done it.
I've been successful. Look, it's a somewhat correct-ish 3D object, and I can like use that to make more details and so forth. I'm still like ostensibly trying to keep this related to values in some way. Like, I should teach like Photoshop anti-hacks. Like, hey, do you want to waste a lot of time doing something this stupid way? I mean, strictly speaking, there's no stupid way. There's like the way that works for you, and then everything else.
All right. What I'm trying to do on my end is kind of um start with big shapes and then like group by value, basically.
Wisdom.
Just kind of eyeball it.
Yeah, look, I drew it. Oh, also, like, just as we depart the topic of perspective, grab some photos of like architecture and then trace them and work out where the lines of convergence and shit are in the actual scene. And then, because like that's how I learned how to do it. It's just so silly. Let's see what else we have. This reference. Oh, nice like sidecast. Let's do that. Another thing that is like, this is just a small little trick. Sometimes when you're trying to work out values, is to look at your reference and squint.
Yeah.
So that it like blurs. Because then you can sort of get the big shapes worked out. I might just use a darker gray. It's like not black. There we go. Okay, so we got a little bit of rim light. Yeah.
Ba-da-da-da-doo.
Oompa, 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 oompa. Shameful secret of Ponfar that everybody kind of knows about.
I don't think you sign up to work with a Vulcan unless you know about it.
I mean, surely they've made fun of it in Lower Decks.
Absolutely. I mean, they made fun of it in Star Trek, so.
Like, lol, you go into heat. What is this, an
Well,
ABU?
more like, hey, why is there this super sexy holodeck scenario with the pool and a lot of sexy Vulcans?
No reason.
Oh, you know, it's that time of the month. Every 7 years.
For 7 years, it got a nut.
Or else.
You know, I wonder if that migrated from there to like Super Hulak fandom and became ABU. I'm committing a dreadful sin just by invoking that acronym. But I was looking it up recently.
Oh, to go back to the old days instead of the new hotness Omegaverse.
That's the same thing, right? Is that some kind of furry thing? No. They like put Babby in dude thing.
Go to sleep.
Just go to get time for sleep, time for beddy rest.
Don't ask questions.
If you know, you know.
And if you don't,
Oh heck,
it's probably
actually,
better for you.
I think that's a value study.
I mean, it's I think Signaling.
No, like oh, this is a good one.
Oh. Terminator?
So, yeah.
I only recognize Sarah Connor.
That's all you need
From the
to
back.
recognize. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if we make it black and white, the like difference in values is like even more stark.
Mm-hmm. Stark.
Like, neat, huh? Actually, what I can do is I can show you another one of my stupid techniques that I use for values. Let's see.
Oh yes, bring more stupidity to the field of battle.
Always. Just finding something that will work. Okay, so awesome. Okay. May as well just make this a smart object so I can keep it contained. Whoops, no. Dump the saturation to nothing to make it into black and white. Then I run some levels on it to exaggerate the contrast. Like there's numerous ways of doing this, but this one seems fine. And then over top, paint bucket, all layers, tolerance, I don't know, 10 or something. What's the darkest value? Doink. And then, sure. And then the sort of mid-tones. There we go. And then the lightish tones go boop. So what I'm doing is I'm sort of like hunting for the various tones to try and like fill those areas in. Whoops. Here we go. So this looks ugly as shit, but I do it in gnarly vivid colors so that it's really, really obvious
Yep.
what is what.
What?
So now I can use this as a guide for where to put all my, oops, no, contiguous. Why? What the fuck? No, you're not on all layers mode. What are you doing? Oh, I'm so confused right now.
This is not my beautiful lair.
I just wanted to make a mask. I think I might be losing my touch.
How many tools have you lost today?
What?
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 How's it going over there?
Oh.
There's no getting through to him, chat. It's too far gone. Lost in the sauce.
I like sauce. Okay. So look at that. Okay. Unfortunately, on this line art, which I might actually just alter right now, because I tend to do some of my value stuff with the line art itself.
Right.
And I'm going to remove as much as possible just for the purposes of this exercise. Just like quick and dirty, sort of. Wait, I'm doing this again the dumb way. Layer mask. Every now and then you come and mask. I need you now forever. So yeah, I'm gonna take out almost all of the creases. Whoops, I do. Settle down. Because those can all be rendered in after the fact. So instead we just get like a nice clean outline. Because all these creases are implying a sort of light source. And if I wanted to just like...
What are you implying?
That light is being cast upon this character. She is photically reflective. I don't know.
Photically reflective is my father's name.
Yeah. He always was a bright fellow. Ha 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 ha. Okay, so now it basically tells you almost nothing about light source and the forms. Or at least like not as much. It's like an outline. But that means we have a nice clean sort of thing here to work with. So I'll start with this gray. And so then we just sort of like, hey, settle down. Just start. Why is this? Oh, is that the same? Ah, there we go. Okay, start. And then we can just start following. So like the green is the lighter area. So if I were to go like, it's very important to make sound effects as you like do your work. You have birds.
Yes.
Neat.
They're outside.
Yes.
Okay.
Does that make them less neat somehow?
They're not mine. It just sounded
Yeah.
like you thought I owned birds, and
Bird
they're
hater?
free wild creatures.
Yeah,
that
anybody can just pick them up.
Mostly chat can't hear. So you're the only one getting
Really?
the bird treat today.
Because it's less dark, because you can sort of see how. I need to start doing more triangles, because I realized that it was something I was sort of unconsciously doing as a rendering thing, and you know, like I don't hate them. Can't give me my style trait.
Ooh.
That's another thing you see a lot of like beginner artists fussing over quite a lot is like, when do I get my style?
Yeah.
Like,
sorry.
stop worrying about it. It will be spontaneous. Like, or if you really want to study artists whose work you really like, and then you will develop it. But it's like, it's not as though you sort of just get your special thing. Your style is really just the way that you draw as advised by works that you have found appealing and that sort of thing. So this is again like just to continue my role in trying to hammer this into people. Used reference. I don't know if there's even like shadowy cabal of people who insist that like you mustn't ever use reference. But if they exist, they are out of their minds or trying to sabotage you on purpose, which is maybe worse. How else are you going to learn how to draw stuff if you don't look at it? And when I say look at it, photographs are ideal. You can obviously look at other artwork, and there's lots of cool stuff that you can learn from that, but there's no substitute for what real objects look like with real light falling on them.
I just had a fun time looking for reference for these pumpkins because there was a lot of AI generated pumpkins.
That
are, you know, at thumbnail size, hard to distinguish from real photos.
I'm going to try
Welcome Raiders
very hard to not get apoplectically angry at contamination of the
just the whole space. The whole internet's poisoned. Yeah.
Well, there was a funny thing that, like, I think I've talked about this before, that in the good old days, like before we all had access to Google image search, artists like my dad would keep a file folder full of just like neat stuff, like newspaper clippings or you know, like photographs, prints, posters, like just anything. It was just like like your own personal library of reference of like what shit looks like. And it was largely looking like it was going to be obsolete. Because it is, because like you can just
Google.
Yeah, just Google for whatever it is and find pretty much anything. But now, because there's this like cascading effect of like AI polluting images and then like referencing itself to become further away from what it's actually representing, there's suddenly a kind of appeal to definitely uncontaminated sources of reference, which is like all these like physical paper repositories that, you know, people have, and some hopefully haven't been recycled. So like I started picking up some books recently.
What book?
Yeah, I got a book that's like a guide to Victorian tools, and it's got all these like copperplate prints. Very cool. Bloop 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 bloop. Bloop, 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 bloop. I mean, yeah, also art books are nice to have, like being able to just flip through something. I think my only kind of beef with art books is they're difficult to physically position in your space.
It's like a big old hardcover.
Yeah, like it's sometimes a pain in the ass to like get them to be somewhere convenient for you to use.
Yeah, like anatomy books can be real hefty.
Yeah, like we were doing I don't think this is too big spoilers for Friday nights, but there is a prop that was a big book, and the base for that book was a gift that Atomic Marshmallow sent me.
Okay.
Of just nothing but pinups, and it's enormous. It's like this huge tome that I like haven't fully pawed through yet, but it's awesome. I keep sort of half jokingly saying that I want to get the full-sized like newspaper format publication of Winsor McKay's Nemo in Slumberland.
Oh yeah.
Which is like, it's gigantic book. It's so stupid how big it is. So funny. Does Lorebot not know that it's October? Oh. Oh, right. Just a little bit on the arms. Oops, right. I need to do white. So, yeah, so you can do stuff like, I mean, the arms are not in the same position, so, like, I can't just, like, slavishly follow this. This is, again, where you're sort of, like, training comes in, where you know when to copy stuff and when not to. Like, that's why reference is okay to use, is because, like, you're not, it's like how there's tracing and then there's tracing. There's like exactly trying to replicate a thing, or there's just like taking the basic sort of form and working off of it.
How do you feel about taking a break?
I would love to take a break.
Let's step away for a few minutes, get some water.
Make some ink.
Make ink. Listen to some ads. Goodbye!
Water is a bipolar molecule. It's wet. It's aqueous.
Welcome back, everybody, to Can't Draw Horses Club. I'm Corey. Today, Alex is joining. We're doing value studies. I have a beautiful pile of pumpkins.
Nice.
I think I'll know how to do this better next time, but I'm going to keep working at it. Alex is experimenting with bright colors, psychedelics, and other drugs. No. Right now you're working on figuring out the lighting for a big piece of clothing.
Yeah, I think it actually looks pretty all right. Values have me thinking about negative space as well.
Yeah.
So, I'm trying to think what I could do to make an example. While I think about that, how are your pumpkins?
I think I could have started with bigger shapes. And not start with a gray as my background necessarily. Or maybe a lighter gray, because some of the midtones got kind of complicated in my head. But I think I'll end up with something vaguely shaped like the picture I'm referencing.
I dig it.
Good thing this isn't Can't Draw Straight Lines Club. Oh man, chat's suggesting I cheat. That would defeat the purpose of learning how to do this way.
this actually works. But... Hey, here's negative space. This is unironically excellent negative space.
Welcome to Bad Apple Club, where we just watch Bad Apple.
What?
What?
Yeah, it is Bad Apple. It's really funny to me the number of times this is being like used to like just either appear anywhere or just be like remixed in a weird way.
That's the
One of the best ones. I know, but one of the ones that I saw that I really liked was, I think the black was the entire movie Shrek, and the white was the entire B movie.
Yep. You saw the Desert Bus one, right?
I don't think I did, but I can see it in my mind's eye.
Is it made of blue check marks?
Blue check marks.
The one in your mind's eye.
No, that's disgusting.
It was for the children.
Sorry, are we talking about a different blue check mark?
The one for Desert Bus?
No, like blue check marks as in like Twitter.
Yeah. We added them to Desert Bus, depending on like the donation, and I can't remember what it was for, but Bad Apple would play behind, but someone had to donate a specific way to get the check marks to fill the screen. So that people could actually tell what it was, because otherwise it was just like, why are these check marks flickery?
Hmm.
Yeah, but you don't know. Yeah.
I sure don't know. I will check that out later. In the meantime, I will use value sketch in a different way.
Whoa. Never before seen ways to sketch. For the first time ever, here on Horse Club.
Horse Club, we need to settle the hell down.
I'm settling here.
There's too much haunting around. Dang it. I mean, this is a silhouette, which is... I don't know if it's technically negative space or not. I mean, I guess it is.
Well,
Sometimes
what's negative space? You brought it up.
I know. I don't know how to explain it, and I don't like. I don't have my favorite examples handy because I like can't think of them. There's a manga. It's spelled XXX holic, and it's
Pollock.
Holic. Yes.
Yes.
But there's a couple of negative space images that are just phenomenal, and I don't know where to find them. Negative spaces. Hey, is that a diss?
Yeah. And it. See, I'm using the Socratic method here of asking the student to define the thing, to test their understanding. Not that I don't know what negative space is, but it matters that Alex thinks through, and what Alex has thought of is Pollock.
Yeah, if anybody knows what I'm talking about, it's like, I think it's like the character, and it's one of those things where like the outline of either their hair or body is not actually drawn, it's just implied through the background and the like shape of them.
Shape is good, yes. Yes. It's called taking the piss. Come on,
I was
people.
about to say I'll take your piss, and then I was like, no, I don't think that's a thing.
I got a
That's
cup.
okay.
You know,
No.
the water's shut down in my building today for maintenance, so.
Wait, you too?
Oh, what, twins?
Are they coordinating?
Oh my goodness. There we go. Negative space is where the subject is not. The subject knows where it is and subtracts where it is from where it isn't. Thank
my
you, Digital
God.
Seahorse.
I'm so mad. Thank you for being technically correct in the most meme way possible.
The space uses Dead Reckoning to.
For deviation. The missile. I think that fucks up the silhouette. He's so pretty. This is driving me crazy trying to think of like examples.
Is Corey frozen or just eternally slightly confused? It's the second one.
Yeah.
So, everyone can tell my brain is not operating my face all the time. Gotta put the effort.
Okay, there we go. There's a
Forward.
good example of negative space.
Oh,
Look
yeah.
at that. That's what I think of when I think negative space.
Hugs?
So like the sure.
It's so adorable.
You're adorable.
Aw.
Aw.
I think about the triangle that's only the points. But you can, like, it's got like a circle out of it. It's just the lines. Yeah.
Wait, I think I might know. Either what you're talking about or a different way of doing it.
Bingo
Your
bongo.
triangle.
Woo!
Yeah. There's negative space. I wonder if you could. Damn it. I lost my mind. Way too early for that.
Yeah, I agree with chat.
What's that?
We can't tell what anatomy that is.
Good. I can say that it's like up to interpretation.
Does it tell me what zodiac sign I am?
Yeah. Here.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember if it's optical or if it's like negative space that uses some optical illusions.
Well, like the faces and vases is.
Yeah. Well, that's classic. Fucking AI. Oh, right. Like this isn't technically negative space, but okay, on the left, see a duck or a rabbit.
Yes.
You see
Old woman,
man or
young woman.
Yep. It's very clever. Pareidolia as applied negative space. Good reference. Maybe I can just ruin this.
Alright, I've really mucked this up, so I'm gonna go in with the smudge tool and just go nuts.
She looks like she's got a reaper or something.
The young woman?
The old one.
Oh. The kids call that Riz.
Now I'm just going crazy. Someone stop me. Take away my tablet.
Are you still using the tablet you got from me? The little bamboo touch?
No, I got an XP pen from a pawn shop. And this is actually kind of funny. The very middle of the tablet, an area about this big, is completely worn away.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't use very much of my tablet, which is maybe like you're not supposed to draw that way. Like, from the elbow, not the wrist. But
oh, you're saying you move your wrist too much, like a criminal?
Yes. I mean, when you zoom in, you don't need to move it as much. But yeah, it would be cool to do more wrist action.
Less wrist action, because then you don't wear your wrist.
Right. Well, I mean,
you need that wrist.
Yeah, I always take care of my wrist when it starts feeling not good, because that shit is not refundable.
Yet. Maybe someday.
Get a power wrist.
It's like Princess Auto brand wrist.
Yeah. Actually, in value studies, have I ever shared my anxiety painting on this stream? I feel like I have. You have no idea what I'm talking about.
Recall. I'm thinking squiddy tentacles.
No.
No. Okay. Then it's not the thing I'm thinking of.
This will be really great, actually, to share.
Your anxiety?
Well, no. Because it's technically a value study.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. I hate this painting. I really hate it. Because I only work on it when I am having an anxiety attack.
All right. That works. Yeah.
But of course, like it's good. And it kind of is meant to depict what it feels like. And so one with very strong kind of like contrasting values. So you have like white all the way up to the front. Yeah, it was just like the extreme feeling of like vulnerability.
Mm.
And you can see it's very simple shapes. There's not a lot of tones here. Actually, I'm wondering if I put a black and white over top. Yeah, see, like there's the colors are very muted, but there's like what, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 grays, I think, and maybe a white. Anyway, yeah, it's all just like very strong shapes and so forth. And I sort of poke away at this every once in a while when I feel like shit.
Yeah.
So values. Might as well get something out of visiting the bad place.
Yeah, that's useful to have something.
Yeah, it's like I don't think that as a wise guy once said, like there's no wisdom in a bad mood. But you can at least sort of, make lemonade.
That's exactly the saying.
Yes, that's how the saying goes. I mean, this is maybe getting into my personal philosophy. I think like nothing has intrinsic value, just value and meaning that we assign to it, which sort of ironically comes back around to there being meaning to stuff. Basically, my philosophy was from Night in the Woods. Who's the bear character? I forget his name. But he says, I believe in a universe that doesn't care and a people that do. Like that resonated with me a lot. Like I don't think there's a scorekeeper, but we keep score, and that's maybe enough. Oh yeah, look at that. Snippity snoppity, get off of my property. Actually, is this underwater? It could be underwater. Oh, you know what I'm gonna do?
Well, on a crab note,
What's on a crab note? Or it's just
oh,
in
chat
general?
chat can hear it. Don't worry, they know what I'm talking about.
Okay.
It's another Desert Bus thing.
Desert Bus reaching carcinization already? Like it comes for us all, but bloom, 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 bloom.
All right. Someone in chat has to post the song for people in chat that don't know the song. Or a clip. You just get the supercut. Just post the supercut. There. I'm doing my part. Educate the masses.
This is sort of negative space. It's like implying more bubble than there actually is.
More bubble.
Let's see. Supercut. Crab note. Banger. Ah,
Makes sense now?
that yeah, crab rave.
Yeah.
I watched a video on uh, fish inoculations. It was really something.
What's fish inoculations?
It's well, you see, it's like when they take fish,
Yeah.
okay, and they inoculate them.
From what?
Fish diseases.
Okay. And is this only for like fish farming, or is this like a catch and release thing?
Yeah, it's like for fish farming for like salmon.
Yeah, that makes sense. I've only inoculated cows.
Sorry, did you said you've only inoculated cows? Did you mean you personally have inoculated cows before?
I was involved. I didn't hold the needle thing.
I don't know
The
why.
stabber.
Do you care to elaborate on that?
When baby cows hit a certain age,
Uh-huh.
it's good to just kind of do everything at once, like branding and trimming the horns and giving them a shot that's like vitamins and
Roids.
not roids, but like antibiotics, or not antibiotics,
We're kind of down on
vaccines.
antibiotics in livestock now, aren't we?
Yes, because that makes antibiotic resistant diseases, and especially if you're doing like pen farming or like big warehouses full of animals
Yuck.
where the animals are really densely packed, then if a disease gets in, then you kind of lose everything.
And you have like gluten-free livestock, right?
Yeah.
Sorry. Sometimes like the gluten-free label shows up on things that are very silly, like gluten-free firewood or something. Like, gosh, I'm so glad that there's finally a firewood for celiac.
Yeah, I've never seen that. My firewood's full of cellulose. Almost entirely 100% cellulose.
No, what have you done?
Well, it's not cellulose that's the problem.
But I heard that cellulose is used to make wood pulp on which yellow journalism is printed, so it's bad.
It's used to make wood pulp. Yes.
It was like, and it's just vaguely related to vaccines. It's like those stupid people who are just like, oh, what these weird ingredients? It's like, why is there these things in it that sound scary? It's like, you're a fucking moron. It's just like, and it was sort of in favor of like natural stuff. It's like, you know what? It's like iron is natural. Do you know what's made out of iron? Guns.
Are they?
Yes. I mean, steel is made of iron.
Yeah.
Steel is.
I don't know. I don't know. Like I've seen an iron cannon, but it's just like a bad idea. Raw iron is not good for a lot of things.
It's actually really hard to find. I found this when I was building my guillotine.
Oh yeah.
The schematics called for
iron.
Numerous iron parts. Iron is just not really made in quantity except for
rebar.
Very specific. Well, no, like rebar is steel. For very specific purposes, because like mild steel is just better in virtually every way. There are some applications where iron is still useful, mainly in like cast iron because it's like easy to cast and I think it's cheaper, and it's also like weirdly it's more geometrically stable. So like it being like the base for certain machinery is very good because it's very rigid.
Right.
Of course, like cast iron frying pans, but structural iron, for example, like just does not exist anymore. People do not make things out of cast iron, hot iron. It's hard to find. Very intriguingly, a information hole I fell down was that blacksmiths in Japan who make the Kana wood planes,
right?
The really high-end ones are made using old British structural iron from like the turn of the century.
Right.
It's apparently a very specific type of iron that it's actually like so as to metal fatigue. Like
right.
if you cut it in half, it looks like a Butterfinger.
Yep.
Almost like wood, and that sucks for just about everything.
Except for making flat sheets.
Well, no, except for making plain irons, because you take a piece of this soft iron and you laminate it with a piece of hard steel, and that gives it characteristics that are very good for the tool.
Okay.
Specifically, like it allows you to get more life out of the tool because like A plane iron is just like a chunk of this metal, like so like iron steel, and you sharpen the edge, and then you're just like cut wood for I don't know umpteen number of like weeks or months, and you're like, oh, it's still sharpen, and eventually like you're gonna wear it down to the point where it's stopped fitting into the body of the plane. And so what do you do then? You perform a procedure called tapping out, where you strike the top of the plane iron
Right.
carefully using a hammer on an anvil, and it smooshes the soft iron out and pushes the steel forward a little bit, and then you
Right.
can sharpen it again. That's back where it originally was. It's pretty wild, but yeah, you can sometimes tell on these like really high end planes that it was made with old British steel because they still have the bolt holes in the plane iron
Right.
from where it used to be a bridge.
Huh.
I think that rules.
That's pretty cool.
Also, like all these turn of the century gas and like steam powered motors that are like in rural places of like India and Pakistan, still like working perfectly as if they were made yesterday.
Right.
Pretty wild. It's like, well, we have no money, but we have all this stuff the British left here, and hey, it still works. Time to lathe. I really love watching videos of cottage industries in India. Because like most of the remarks about it are just sort of like, oh, there's no safety and it's dangerous. It's like, yeah, well, also everybody in the scene is like completely dirt poor as shit, so like they probably can't afford any of that. And the ingenuity for the kind of operations is sometimes pretty cool. Other times it's crazy, but so it goes.
Yep.
That's what we call a tangent in conversation.
Do you want to demonstrate a tangent in art?
Sure. Uh, hang on a second. Generally speaking, tangents are associated with being a bad thing in art. Because they imply a relationship between forms that is not intended. So let me try to do this actually really simply. I'm going to copy an example I have. So, come on. And there's numerous types of tangent. Okay, so if we were to draw a homie next to this tree, and we had him just touching it there. This is not a good way to draw that. This is, technically speaking, a mistake because it is unclear whether these two forms are related, because they're just like barely grazing each other there. So a better way to do this, whoops. Yeah, it looks like he's got a weird messed up antler thing. Whoopsie doodle, come on. So there's a couple ways you can fix this. is either you increase the separation so it's very clear that they're not related, or you increase the overlap. And then it's, this is maybe not the best example of that. Like maybe there's less of this shit here. Or then you could, go like this. So, or like, let me think of another example. Like, like this guy pointing kind of blorbs into the guy's hat profile, so it looks like it's the same thing.
Right.
So that's no good. Again, instead, you'd want to like that. Or, I don't know, maybe like that kind of thing. Adam Warren did a great comic about tangents. Very silly. You can sort of imply form and shape when you're doing silhouettes like this. Like this is actually kind of, I used to do a lot of like monochrome sort of silhouetted drawing like this.
Right.
And I kind of miss it almost. I mean, I don't have any current projects that I use it in, but it gives you a lot of ability to do certain things. Like you can imply details. It's sometimes remarkable like how much of a form you can just like cut away and still have it read as what it is.
Right.
Like, look how little of this shape is being left, and we still get to kind of get the idea of what it is. Yeah, that's a good sort of negative space thingy. Finger. Fingeroo. Well,
Ready
wonder
to
we'll
take
have
another
enough-
break?
Sure. If it's top of the hour, whatever. Let's do it.
All right. We will be back after these messages. Ciao. Welcome back, everybody, to Can't Draw Horses Club. Today, Alex and I are doing value studies, or just talking.
That kind of thing. I found a good example. In the break, Paul Kirchner's comic strip, The Bus, has some great value work on it.
Yeah, pretty good.
If you've not read this comic before, it's a wordless sort of surrealism comedy about public transit. It's very weird.
I believe you.
Like, let me see if I can find some more of these because they're very good. Many of them are like that.
Yeah, let's get some good cross hatching. No, that's making me think of some like classic like Scrooge McDuck comics that
Like
have
Carl Barks.
yeah, some really great but black and white.
Yeah. God, this stuff is
It's real dense and heavy.
it's fucking genius, honestly. Like, so this kind of turns my crank as far as visual storytelling and rendering.
Just someone standing on the trough and then
Well, so you have this simple sort of like side decompression kind of thing where it's just like, guys waiting for the bus. He's like, what's going on? And then you pull out to this like enormously detailed, like high angle perspective, for contrast between the. It's really genius. God damn it.
but he's like standing on the bottom of the panel. And the bottom of the panel is the plane he's standing on. Yeah, that it pulls back to reveal. That's what I'm saying. He's standing on the trough.
This is actually a great example of the difference between a tangent being something that's meant and something that isn't.
Because you really want to imply the relationship here. It's like, oh, it's weird that it's intersecting like that.
Yeah, it would be, except that he is standing on something, and that something is also represented by the panel border here. So like this is technically speaking a tangent, but it's like on purpose, serving a function, so it works. Comics. Cause of and solution to all life's problems.
All right, so I'm only going to show this real tiny. This is how far my pumpkins is.
Nice.
It's slowly
coming together.
Still figuring out a lot.
I wonder what happened.
This is what it looks like big. It's just blobbies.
Mr. Blobby. God, I was reminded of Mr. Blobby again.
Mr. Blobby!
I hate it.
A lot of people do.
Can't imagine why.
It's unkind to Blobby.
Scribble. I don't know that Mr. Blobby gives a solitary shit about that.
I don't know that Blobby can.
You
think that suit breathes? No.
Suit?
Huh?
I mean, I think
isn't there an extra layer of kind of horror just knowing that it's a person in a suit?
There is no human alive inside there. They've been like melded into the material.
No, I don't know. A lot of my appreciation for like mascot characters just is because I know there's a person.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, it very literally humanizes them. Is that how and why you like Gritty?
Gritty? Oh yeah. Godzilla. Tokusatsu.
Ooh. I used to do podcasts about Tokusatsu. Like, is that still a thing you do?
Kind of.
Shamefully, don't think that I listened to it.
Yeah, I know. It was Kamen Rider Ghost. I did a podcast, a watch podcast with Heather and Kate, and then I did a podcast about that podcast.
Wait, what?
I did a podcast about that podcast the
My
following
brain is melting.
while it was still going on, really. And I was gonna do a podcast about that podcast, but then a bunch of people said they wouldn't podcast with me again. They were busy. It was becoming way too time consuming to reabsorb all the media, and then because the second podcast involved listening to the podcast and watching the show.
Yeah, that's fair.
And so the third iteration would have been even more. And so I just did a podcast about a different Kamen Rider series, and then we wouldn't stop talking about movies. So now I do a movie podcast with those people.
Neat.
Just released an episode last week.
Where can people find it?
Quatermass and the Pit on tiltyhouse.com. The podcast is called Hey, Check It Out. I know Iris of Ether listens. And if you're on Instagram, checking out my friend Josh Kagan is quite fun because he's doing a 100 movies by Halloween challenge, and he likes to do like write-ups and stuff. And when I do the post, when I post the podcast episodes, he makes his own little art thing for them. They're fun. I just like making things with my friends.
Aw, it's very endearing.
Everybody loves the things I make with my friends. Nothing horrifying at all.
You know, I realize I haven't been on a podcast for Dog's Age. I was sort of having a pie in the sky idea about doing like a very like light pop science thing.
Light pop
with,
science.
Cameron.
With who?
He would be into it, but
Cameron, did you say?
Yeah. Yes, I've definitely got a firm maybe.
Well, you did corrector's commentary, right?
That was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And I feel like we could, I mean, it would probably be a thing we could do more of. We could just pick it. Actually, we could just do a whole thing only about the terror.
Probably. That would probably get him on board immediately.
Yeah, it's like, hey, Cam, we're doing a thing about the terror. Never mind what it is. I've been trying to figure out when I want to do a group watch of that on my Discord, which you can join through my Patreon. All that stuff is available at alexstacy.com.
What's your Patreon?
Patreon.com/AlexStacy.
How do you spell Stacy?
God damn it. Steacy.
There you go.
But yeah, I think it's probably enough time has passed that we could probably watch it all together. The show is good as fuck.
Yep.
It is really quality television, and you know it's horror enough that playing it in October seems appropriate.
I just finished watching a series from HBO called Station 11 that I really quite liked.
Yeah.
It's a post-apocalypse, and it's kind of about seeing yourself and your experiences reflected in media, and sort of how that can connect people, basically.
I feel
over
alienated
time, yeah,
because my demographic is underrepresented in media. And I get really cranky.
I often don't see myself.
What?
Yeah. Despite everything I have going for me.
It is still you.
I'm still me. Which is kind of funny because Undertale is one of the things where I see myself.
Yeah.
I tried buying a mirror.
Now thinking about like birds' rights activists, which is is or was a very good account. I think I'm like,
I am upset when things are not about me.
yeah, I think I'm kind of like just naturally spending less and less time on Twitter, and I think it's good. Unfortunately, that's sort of robbing me of a means to connect people to my work, and I don't know what, if any, replacement there is. But place as a whole,
I went there because the announcement for MagicCon Las Vegas went up, and I had to retweet it because I'm going. And uh, every time I look at my timeline, I miss it. I'm just
there's
like, oh my god, all the good stuff is here. Damn it, why are these people funny?
yeah, there's definitely things I like about it. Like I think my feed has been quite well curated, but there's like so much contaminating bullshit. It's like if if you had a favorite pizza place and they just started putting like whole dog turds on every order. You're like, I guess I could pick this out, but not really. Not really at all.
Yeah, I haven't subscribed to the dog turd feed.
Dog turd facts. I mean, I I mean, I think every opportunity I get, I rail about this, but what I think has really altered my perspective on all this stuff is it was bad enough when people were baiting responses just to be dicks, and then it became baiting responses for clicks and ad revenue. And now the entire algorithm and like infrastructure is built around that idea where it's just like the whole thing is trying to piss you off on purpose to put money in somebody else's pocket. And it's just like it is not worth engaging in any way with anyone.
Hmm.
It's not like I see people still arguing with like shitheads online. I'm like, why? This is so purposeless, and someone is profiting off of it by harnessing your outrage or whatever. It's just like this sucks. I mean, a lot of the crap that I would get even earlier, and I think I used to um, play quite a role, to call myself out on that in giving airtime to the terrible opinions of shitheads.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just like, I think we need to have a very honest discussion with ourselves about our role and like in creating the greater terrible space. It's just like this thing's really really bad because I keep quote tweeting human anuses to dunk on them.
Oh, is that what you were doing?
Oh yeah, well I think like everybody used to do that. Like, and yeah, just like dunking on them or responding to them in any way so that like those responses show up in your followers' timelines and shit.
Oh. I spent a lot more
Also,
time finding things that excited me or that I wanted to celebrate.
yeah, see, because like you're smarter than me. Like, or at least like I don't know, more have more perspective. This is like I'll cop to that. Um, that's why that's why you got a screenshot to dunks the shitty OP. But
It's not even
can't
OP,
profit.
it's
But
the platform, right? And
then
the data
people who are,
scrapers.
but that's the thing is that like if you screenshot to dunk on somebody, then the people who are keyword filtering to not view that content can't.
Well, unless you do alt text, right? Or do the keyword filters not
Nobody does
touch?
alt text.
I do.
Yes, because you're smarter than me. We've been over this. Like the kind of people that you need to do alt text for don't. You know what I mean? It's like it's so aggravating. It's just like, aha, I found a way to, and it cuts the other way, like where people use weird misspelled things to get around people hate searching stuff. So then you can't search for the thing that you want to find because it's being like obfuscated through this. It's like, oh brother, like speaking this weird arcane language to avoid deboosting and shit. Hiya.
It sounds complicated.
Yeah, it sucks. Let's go back to Usenet.
Sure.
I was actually never on Usenet, but
Well, it's not quite a bastion of good manners and behavior.
I don't imagine it is. But like, is it weird that I find myself sort of
Nostalgic?
well nostalgic for just like the word I'm looking for? Non-commercialized terrible behavior.
You want
Like people
good
just
shit posts.
it's like yeah, well, it's like when people are shitty for its own sake, and it's not like part of some sort of like I'm not being baited into like some sort of scam or like algo feeding shit. It's just like this person online just hates me. That's it.
Oh, you
They
miss you
suck.
miss that a person just hates you directly.
Actually, kind of. I miss when a person just hated me, not when a person exaggerates how much they hate me and like makes a big deal about it so that they can like get metrics out of it. It's just like you're not even. It's like I feel like you're not even being sincere about this like antagonistic relationship we have.
See,
God,
back in the day, you used to declare yourself and your name before entering the field of combat.
Yep. I, Marcus Aurelius.
Have you ever read Marcus Aurelius?
I have not.
Mm.
I saw.
There's actually some
VHS...
good stuff in there you might like.
I saw a VHS box set of BBC's I Claudius on the shelf.
Okay.
At the thrift store, and I thought that was pretty cool because that was back in the day.
Back in the day.
Drama thing. I'm doing a silhouette.
Ho.
Yeah, the phrase "don't feed the trolls" is about 20 years old. But yeah, I think the big difference is like real, actual, like OG trolling was just saying something untrue to provoke a person into getting mad about it, and then that would be funny. And that was it. Like that was the entire exercise. It's like, ha, idiot. But now it's just like, what if we troll people to drive traffic towards our thing that, where we're shilling crypto or in the pocket of some, enormous company or whatever. It's just like, ugh. Please stop. Yeah, like the algorithm and the sort of like countermeasures to the algorithm are just atrocious. Like the way the behavior that it has kind of encouraged, and like the weird like arcane dark arts of like trying to game the system into getting attention on your stuff. Like it's just like, oh, I'm an artist and I have a thing that I want people to notice, so I'm gonna write a whole bunch of like Tesla keywords under this just so it shows up on people's searches or like.
You think SEO optimization is new? Pretty sure as soon as like PageRank was introduced.
Yes, like I sort of know what SEO optimization is, but I'm like trying to like just
The thing where you just add a bunch of words.
right, but ostensibly you would add keywords that actually relate to the thing that it is, instead of just things that are popular that don't relate to the thing that you.
Sometimes people would do that and put it in invisible text on their websites.
That's evil.
It's old.
I know. Ah, the old magic. I do find myself like reaching for magician's brick more and more frequently.
Magician's brick.
You know about magician's
I
brick?
don't know magician's brick. Is that this thing you smash with?
No, it's if anybody knows has like the video, if they can link to it, it's really funny. It's like some animation about like there's a wizard and a barbarian or like a warrior or something, and they're getting ready to ambush this like orc or troll or something. He's like, I will use my magic, and it's like the wizard's like, oh no, or the barbarian's like, oh, he's wearing an amulet, your magic would bounce right off. And he's like, I must use one of the oldest spells, magician's brick, and he just heaves this chunk of stone and domes him with it.
Yeah.
It's really funny. I cast bludgeon. I don't actually even know what it's from. Like if this is a series or something. Like, hey, it doesn't use up a spell slot. Almost like pan shot. I don't think I like these eyes. Stopping power of a half brick in a sock. Yeah, or that XKCD talking about like the super high end password cryptography, and the guys being like, "Oh, we can't figure it out because it's using like all this, super gnarly high level encryption stuff," and then the counterpoint where it's just like, "Oh, he's got a password. Take this $2 wrench and beat it out of him."
Yep.
I mean, that's how I think about problems. Not stupid if it works. Yeah, the orc's mad. He just gets mauled. I think I'm particularly vulnerable to goofs like that.
Where there's like a big setup and then you just the trap door opens basically.
Yeah, that kind of thing. One of Cam's favorites was this video of like a young like a little girl holding the leash to a dog that was like way too big for her size.
Right.
And she says, "Go!" And the dog bolts and like drags her after, and she goes, "Bleh!" Hits the ground. I hope she's okay, but it's just like the timing between it's like, "Oh, bleh," is very good. Like, I think we all enjoy a good pratfall. I think I dig them. The ones where people get like really hurt, I only am into if like they were really doing it on purpose.
Oh, so like your
Yeah, like
Jackass.
Yeah, exactly. Or like there's a great one. There's this dude. I don't know how I discovered this, but like there's this guy who's like a juggalo backyard wrestling thing.
Right.
and he elbow drops a microwave, and
Ow.
it's like he's being transported to the pain dimension because he's just sort of like, ooh, ooh, ooh.
Ow.
It's just like you can tell he's so hurt. And it's like, yeah, play stupid game. Oh,
I have never liked Jackass.
That
I just
is-
cannot. It's unwatchable.
that's fine. I fully understand why people would not like Jackass. It is crass and disgusting and tasteless. I do contend that the one of the reasons it's effective and what's the word I'm looking for? It's like memorable is because they kind of elevate stupid dumb jokes through the pageantry of it. It's like anybody can do a nut shot, but the circumstances they surround it with kind of make it an event.
Hmm.
It's like we're going to see Johnny Knoxville get mauled by a bull, but we're going to ostensibly try to protect him first by having him painted to blend into the background to give the appearance that he might have a chance of escaping. I think it's clever. But yes, it's like I had another friend who I was like telling that to, and they're just like, I don't really like Jackass. I was like, yep, understandable. Very, very understandable. I think I sort of feel that way about some IPs. Like, I don't think I'm ever going to be into stuff like Steven Universe, and that's fine. It's not my thing, but it seems very well done and extremely well received. So that's just super. It is okay for work to not resonate with everyone. In fact, that's probably for the best. If you make something with too much mass appeal, it's like bland as hell.
Have you like done any examination as to why you don't like it?
Steven Universe?
Yeah.
Gosh, do I even want to get into that in this context?
I don't know. You brought it up.
Yeah, I know. I'm just like trying to think if there's a way to put it succinctly, or if it's just gonna like get into a weird bunch of questions that I will have like trouble answering. Because like sometimes there's stuff that you don't like and you can't even like defend it.
Mhm.
It's like I don't know, I just don't like the vibe. Yeah, it's like something that just don't capture your attention. Like versus like certain characters are like unappealing for some reasons, and those reasons may be the very reasons that they do resonate with people. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true.
Like, I don't really like this character because they're like kind of I don't know, they're like a slob or gross weirdo or something. It's like, but that's their whole thing. It's like, yeah, well, that's a valid character trait. It's like very off-putting. Um, I'm sinning. I used color.
What?
Yep.
Oh no.
We're fucked now.
License revoked
Wait, what license?
to art.
Oh no!
You broke the rules of art. How dare! Never before has anyone crimed so much against art.
Why have you crimed against art? Spare me this mockery of justice. Have I explained Branko here? I mean, I haven't really talked much about my comic. I'm also like in a weird spot where I'm like kind of self-conscious about how long it's been since the last one.
Oh,
Making
I get that.
content, oh god, it sucks because it's like self-perpetuating.
Yeah.
Like once a certain amount of time passes, it feels like it gets sort of like exponentially more difficult to like pick it back up again, and then you just feel worse about it. Um, and to be clear, I really want to do more material, and I have lots of material, so it's like it's not like I've run out of ideas or something. Um, it's just that like weird dumbass brain shit intimidating you out of doing what you want. It's so aggravating. I was made to feel a little better about it, considering there's like some major IPs that go like very long amounts of time between installments. But all the same, like the impulse is there. I'm just like, I want to be making comic for my thing. Why no worky? Yeah, it definitely feels like this is the thing that I want to be working on, and I have like ideas, and sometimes I even like um, put little bits and pieces together of those ideas. Boy Who Fell, great comic. Went to college and never picked it back up. Man, that stuff messes me up,
Yeah.
and it's really complicated because it's like it's very much a reflection on my own values about creative work, and like I can't know what their actual situation is. Like maybe this type of creation was just like a passing thing for them. Like my impulse would be that it's like, no, why have you run from your passion?
Really?
I, like, am I projecting perhaps? But it's still I experience this kind of like disappointment and chagrin, almost even like mourning to an extent. I mean, the worst one is when people just like go dark for no reason or say something vague and disappear. Uh, or they get like bullied out of doing their thing. Like that's maybe the most unforgivable thing. Not of creators, but like the communities or anti-communities that support or dissuade them. Like that. Oh, that gets my rage going. We've already talked about how I feel about rage.
Rage?
It being like harnessed by people for fun and profit, mainly just profit.
But that was about Twitter,
Yeah.
not just about having feelings.
Yeah. I mean, they kind of overlap a little bit. Ooh. Robit. Look at this stack, boy. Now, do we want to? Yeah, I think I just get this impulse, like particularly with creative stuff, like worrying that people too easily talk themselves out of pursuing their dreams. in the name of like pretty banal kind of what's the word I'm looking for? Conventional, ordinary approaches to, or like just like things that you do in your life. Um, I hate that, and it makes me sad. And of course, it's just like that. That's only reflective of my feelings and experience. That it's just like ah, feelings are weird. You know?
Nah.
Do you ever just have a feeling?
Nah. Wouldn't be me. Skill issue.
I think I saw a thing recently that said like skill solution, and I thought that was kind of funny. Oh, sorry, the complete tangent, but Emily posted an emoji that reminded me of a thing. I don't know how or why I have this, but in my paper files, I found something that I think I probably need to frame and put in the office, because as far as I know, it is the original Aw Muffin design.
Huh.
And like a shirt for it.
Huh.
I don't know why I have this because I didn't draw it. But yeah, that should probably go to the office. Or maybe it just gets like auctioned on Desert Bus or something.
Yeah, I would probably go to the office for that.
But I'm smarter than to suggest additional prizes at this late stage in the game. Not today, Satan. This is like this sort of like Frank Miller face. Oh yeah, do you know the Muffin Man?
Nope. Not a big
That
fan of
wasn't
muffins.
yes and.
What?
Hey, we have to dry here.
Just answering your question.
The yes and me.
Oh my god.
The disgust in your voice. Actually, let's just go full blown.
If you tell me to yes and, I will eject you from this call.
What? Why though?
Mm-hmm.
I'm now like genuinely confused. I thought it was just like a best practices of comedy.
No, that's improv.
Oh, okay, well yes, improv. And because this is a live show, in a sense, we are improving.
We're not doing theater sports. Our team is not going to make it all the way to nationals this year. You've never heard of theater sports?
I'm sorry, it's just like, because of my rotted brain, it sounds so much like water sports.
All right, so what if you did something like Whose Line Is It Anyway, but competitively, and there's certain rules that you have to follow.
Okay, yeah.
And you'll be judged and graded by, judges.
Oh, so it's like a panel will determine how hard you yes-anded.
Yes.
Oh, actually, hang on a sec.
Like there's a lot of stuff that's useful from improv for a situation like this where you're supposed to like listen to your partner and try to like work with them. But there's things that just don't apply. Like telling someone that they're talking wrong.
Points do matter. The game is made up. Excuse me. I made a burp. Murder, murder, burp.
The number one rule of improv is telling the performer you're on stage with that they're doing the bad thing. Just like, wait, time out of character, everybody. Yellow flag.
I can't tell if you're being sarcastic or not. I think you are. I've either had not enough coffee or way too many.
How many have you
think
had?
Some.
Is it above 2?
Not above 2. One was quite strong.
All right, well, I'm going to send you to comedy jail.
Oh.
Oh, there you go. That person belongs behind bars. Look at their evil face.
I mean, I already have a big air quotes evil version of this character.
Are they in jail?
No.
Did they forget to yes and?
No, they yes and very, very enthusiastically.
Well, then they're great and they don't belong in jail.
Okay. I can show you who I'm talking about. I'm sure I have a safer work for version of this.
I'll wait until you tell me it's good.
Yeah. Be like, oh shit. There we go.
Ready?
Yeah, that works.
That doesn't look evil at all.
What is wrong with you?
It's just makeup, right? It's just makeup.
Yeah. I mean, I guess like not even really evil, just very mischievous and.
What's wrong with mischief?
Yeah. Okay. I guess it started off. Okay. I'm gonna find another picture.
Okay, I'm gonna go look at my pumpkins. There.
Because this is actually an interesting character study. Where did I put it? Okay. So yeah, you can come back.
Okay.
Okay, so the character that I have here, this one.
Yeah. Good, pure. Bean.
This is the very first drawings of that character.
Okay.
And she evolved over numerous sort of like wash cycles into the one that you see now. Not too long ago, I went back to this original sketch and re-extrapolated a different evolutionary path
Mm-hmm.
Which led to this. So they're not technically like different versions. They're just like a shared ancestor, which I think is kind of neat. It's just like which parts of the starting point are kept, so they're like quite different now. And it's also really stupid that they have. I mean, they technically have the same name, just one's spelled backwards. It's Terry and Irrit. I'm never gonna get over that.
Who has done this?
Of me. Well, I look. I'm enabled a lot.
Who enabled you? Chat?
Yeah, definitely.
Oh wait, I wonder if chat remembers. Hey chat, how cool is this?
How cool is which? What are you're squinting?
I'm squinting. I'm waiting. I'm judging.
What?
I'm waiting. You know, it takes time for them to respond.
Judge mode.
There we go. I taught them one cool trick.
Did they say so cool?
Yeah.
It looks like you taught one of them one cool trick.
No, it's all of them. They all speak for each other.
They turned out pretty good. I mean, that might be my Halloween avatar at this point.
Halloween!
Spookies! Can I put some... do I have...
I think...
I'm so glad that nobody has to suffer being inside my head as I try to think of stuff.
I'm just gonna recommend less lip shadow on the teeth.
Oh. Yeah, no, that's fair. That's... Would you believe that it was its own shadow?
No. Not that way. No. There we go.
Go watch Midnight Vampire. It rules.
Midnight Vampire. Well, you should watch Midnight Mass.
What?
It's about vampires! We're recommending vampire things.
You're about vampires.
Sometimes. There we go. That's the winner. Oh no. Ugh. Bleh.
Oh, that sucks. Oh, what have I done?
Oh. Okay. Garfield eyes.
Oh, yeah, hang on a second. I need to look up what Garfield eyes look like.
Okay, we've got less than 10 minutes.
I can do it. Oh, dear Jesus. Really dumb way. This will make sense in a second. Oh no! Oh no! Oh boy, that's bad. That is not good.
Introducing Alex's new character. There is a third one. They have different ancestors. They evolved down different tracks.
This one is like, what if Terry was drawn by Jim Davis?
I love lasagna. word art.
You should probably stop me from drawing at this point.
Well, thank you all for watching. I'm Corey, and this is Alex. You can find Alex on his Patreon at patreon.com/AlexStacy. And likewise, you can support us and everything we do at patreon.com/LoadingReadyRun. If you want to show me cool art, you can find me on the Loading Ready Run Discord at discord.gg/LR. Do it rah.
I don't think I would make a very good Ojo-sama. Or maybe I would. I don't know what the...
What about your...
character is.
Do you... Yeah, come on. Like, you're full of yourself. You've got your schemes. Your schemes are all about to come to fruition.
I'm a MILF.
You're a MILF, Alex.
That in no way applies to me.
But there is a Garfield comic about it. It's a long spoon. Anyways, that's gonna be it. So goodbye.